Are you a full-time reseller or part-time? Another weekly video from SMPostcards. If you're new to reselling postcards or you're considering it, this is the place to be. We have a lot of great people, sellers, buyers here, and a lot of videos. We got over 100 videos talking about postcards, so you're in the right place. Today's video, I'm going to go over what sold. I usually go through and looking at the variety of cards people are buying, and have 8 cards on eBay for $45 and 1 card on Etsy for $5. So a total of 9 cards for $50. Sales are still up and down. You don't get anything all day, and all of a sudden you get a bunch at night, or they're bunching up a little bit, but appreciate everything coming in. Then I'm going to go through a special topic of some postcards that I saw. Not very familiar with them, and they remind me of like the Union 76 gasoline series cards. These are called Dear Doctor cards. If you notice it here, the arrow pointing, it says Dear Doctor. We'll get into what these are. I was interested in the price that some of these sold for. Not too bad. So still something I'll look out for and check the back on them. And then I have a poll. Do you include a thank you card when you mail out your sold postcards? Got some responses on that. Might be a new best practice. Or not. Then I got some viewer comments that I'll go over. But let me go ahead and go through these what sold real quick. It's just a variety of different cards that people are buying and looking for. Gives you an idea what to look for when you go out and looking through antique stores or buying lots of cards and stuff like that. So the first one on Etsy is just a ship, USS Tennessee. Single card on Etsy, $4.55. Etsy usually takes the first hit when it gets slower on there. And then I had someone buy 2 of these cards for $9 and on eBay. And these are the Toll House, Whitman, Massachusetts. They're just a reproduction chrome card. And I had 2 of them, and they bought both of those cards. When they sold, I said, did I screw up the quantity? I didn't know I had 2 of these. I couldn't remember. So $9 for those. Native Indian Chiefs. Always get those out there. Make sure you get it in the titles. This looks like it has a signature or something. I don't know what it is. But the customer is real excited to get this card. $4.55. This is Asbury Park, New Jersey. It's the kiddie rides and golf course. $5, $4.55. Chrome card, posted 1964. Good year. Sold a moonlight scene on the Pacific, 1908. Divided back card. Right there. $4.55. Sold a print of a boat. This is the USS Currituck. That's the name right there. Sold that card, $4.55. Sold a Welsh girl. Yeah, sold a Welsh girl. She's in a little hat. I can't really tell when it was posted, but I did sell her, $4.55. I do know it was in one of the earlier boxes, though. And then this is a card. This didn't come from my naval ship lot that I bought last year. This is one I just got in with a lot of cards. And this is a German ship that was scuttled. Right there. And that sold within 3 days of me listing it. So a total of 9 cards, $50. It's still coming in, but not like it was pre-April. It was a little bit better. But you take what you can get. Now let me talk about Dear Doctor cards, a special topic for today. Once I get going, you're going to understand what these are. You're saying, what the heck is Dear Doctor? So in a nutshell, while I talk about this, I'll show you a couple pictures of some other ones that I have found. But a Dear Doctor card is an advertising card that was published by drug companies promoting their products. So drug companies make a lot of money, and they went out there and they advertised these cards. And most of the messages on the back is a canned message, and they mostly start with Dear Doctor. In the 1950s, one of the drug companies, Abbott Laboratories, sent out hundreds of thousands of these postcards. But I've also seen other companies, not just Abbott out there, as I was looking through this video and different things like that. I thought it was mostly Abbott, but it looks like other companies did the same thing. They were not just in English, but there were many other languages as well in other countries. A lot of them were European and international, is what I saw. So it wasn't just for the States. These were mailed to healthcare professionals and medical facilities. A lot of these postcards were continental size, 6x4, and I think the size is due to that most came from European companies over there, and continental, they were first to use continentals over in the Europeans, so I think that's why it is 6x4. Plus, that's why they went to 6x4, is there's more writing space and more room for advertisements. Makes sense to me. I'll take it. As we see, the prices of for these varies, just like regular postcards. So the lows and the highs, we're going to see, they're your average postcard. But I think you'll be surprised on a few of the sales that these did. I don't know if it was subject or the Dear Doctor, but I think you'll be surprised. Dear Doctor. It's just weird. It's just a weird name for a postcard. But let's look at the prices. So I did the sold high, sold low, list high, list low. And I did find some, and I did find a bunch more that I'll do right after that. I'll show you some lots that I found. But the first one here, 2510. It's Vezing Games, rarely seen Dear Doctor postcard to France. So there's something special about this card. It was in a auction. It's got 2 bids, 2 people going at it, and they got $25 for a Dear Doctor card. The next one is a Hong Kong, which right there tells you to take a look. Hong Kong. Dumex, 1971, $32. And then another one, Spanish America, Medicine Advertising, 1953, $24, $25. So some of these could have some money into them, better than an average card. But then you get over into the low. And this is what reminded me of the Union 76 series, you know, the first chromes they said out there, those series of the gasoline. $1 for Mayfair stamp Spanish Adore 1950s Dear Doctor card. $1. And it was an auction with 2 bids. That's surprising. Dear Doctor Advertising Postcard, Bristol, $2.50. Another auction, 1 bid. Dear Doctor Advertising Postcard El Salvador, $2.50. So you went from $25 sold ones to $2.50. So the spread is just like, as we see in all the videos here, and pretty well spread on there. But I think it's something to look for. If you see Dear Doctor on the back and a canned message, you know, go out there and compliment, do a little dig or dive. I will be doing that more. And let's go see what these people are listing these things for. This last couple of videos have been pretty okay, but this one, unless there's something special about these subjects, a lot of them are looks like they're international. But the first one here for listed high is $49.99. $49.99. Blue light special. Abbott Labs, Antarctica, posted, cancel stamp. It doesn't need to be up there in the title. You can put that down in the condition statement or your description. No one is searching on cancel stamp. $50. 51 because they got shipping. Next one is another Abbott card. $30. And the one below it is a drug thing, $30. 1950s. So they're either there's something special or are they out of line? Because when we look at the low here, South Africa, Dear Doctor, Abbott, $3.85. Dear Doctor Abbott, $4.15. Dear Doctor card, $4.62 of a sea lion. And the other ones are looking for $50 to $30. Unless it's in the subject, it isn't going to be in the card. So you want to be careful with them, but those other ones did sell at a higher price. So where would you put these cards? After doing the due diligence, if they come out to be average, $4 to $5. But there's something special about them, sky's the limit. So you want to take a look at anything with Dear Doctor. It's going to stick out, like I showed here on the first little thumbnail. you're going to see the Dear Doctor in there. And it's going to look like handwriting, but it's a canned message that they just stamped in it. They're basically advertisements for drugs, is what they are. So if you see those in the lot, so as you go through listing, stop for a second, look at them. But I found a bunch more listed. I didn't put them in the sold high and sold low stuff. But look at this. This is listed. 19 cards for $290. Abbott Lab. Rare. CRNA Nurse Anesthetic Postcard. $290 for 19 cards. So what's that per card? Let's see. 290 divided by 19. $15 a card is what they're asking for those. Next one, 10. Dear Doctor, Mediterranean Series. $140. 140 divided by 10, $14. Didn't really have to use a calculator, but I did. 8 cards. Next one, Anesthetic Postcards. It looks like it's the same titles, kind of. I wonder if it's the same guy. 120 divided by 8, $15. Next one is $10 a card. Vikings. And they have the numbers in there, which is good. 10. So if somebody knows something about these, if they specialize in these things, put it in the comments what you know about these Dear Doctor cards. But there's lots out there going for some pretty good money, and these are only 20 cards and under. Wonder if they sold any. I didn't see any big lots sell like that, but that just surprised me that all of these were 4 lots for over $100. And I thought I would share. Dear Doctor cards, who knew? I never really looked for these until I got into doing a video and looking at them. Now this is another one that I'm learning by doing a video for you. Is I need to look at these a little closer. I might be dropping some money on the table, and maybe just put them in the flea market box. I didn't know what they were 100%, but now I know a little bit more. So I'm going to keep digging into these Dear Doctor cards. So those 654 Continental cards you don't sell, you might have some Continentals that are worth a little bit of coin. Dear Doctor. Who knew? I thought I would share that weird. To me, it's kind of different. It's kind of weird. But now we're going to get into the poll. And this is another one of those things that people are very passionate about. People really think it does a lot. I think it does. To me, I think it does more for the seller than it does the buyer. Do you include a thank you card in your mailings of sold postcards? 21% said yes, 72% said no, and 7% said other. Now remember what I said about best practices. Best practices are basically created by the buyers and sellers. eBay and Etsy all have best practices, but that's for their platform. This is what sellers are doing, and most people won't do something unless there's some kind of return or they're getting something out of it. I have a real hard time with thank you cards, packing lists, stuff like that. Back in the day, they didn't have computers to track things, stuff like that. Now if they want to see what they bought, they can go right into eBay. It's all electronic. It's all in there. So you don't need to stick all that stuff in the thing. I know when I get postcards, I got the packing slip, I got a thank you card, I got stickers, I got candy. All that stuff goes in the garbage. I just want the postcard. And that's really what I feel customers want nowadays, is the postcard. You get an Amazon box, you get one air pillow and your little thing in there, and that's about it. And maybe a sticker on it, with the guy throws in there that came out of his machine. Do you really look at these? So my question is, the 21% that are using it, and I would challenge that and put it in the comments, what return do you get off of putting a thank you card or spending the time with that? I know it's not a lot of time, but I'm looking at a return. We're in the business of selling things and making a profit, making money. What does this give you? So the other 72% of the people that don't do it can understand the pros and cons. And remember, it's one of those passion things people really like doing. But if you're selling a lot of cards, time does add up. 72% said no. I think that would be another best practice. And I'm tracking all these things from the polls to see, maybe we get a list by the end of the year of best practices of all the people that are watching the channel on what you do and what I do, and see what the percentage is. Maybe we come up with some best practices. So you kind of know that, hey, if I put thank you cards in there, only 21% of them doing it, that's not going to get me another sale. That's after the sale. Once you ship it and they open it and it's nice clean packing and it looks good, that's really all they, is it making the seller feel better than the buyer? So, challenge me, let me know. Whatever you do, it's your business. I don't tell anybody not to do it. I just haven't done it. I've never done it. So, and the reason why is I just don't see a return is my main reason. But I had some comments on this one. C Delight said, I include an invoice with each order on which I write a thank you and sign my name. Pyro Know-It-All, I just hand draw a smiley face on every packing slip and it has a thank you on it typed. Flippin' Ohio says they use stickers. So there's different ways of doing it, but what is the return? And 72% of the people are not doing it. So I'm looking for some comments on reasons why. I'm not saying that I'm going to start doing it or anybody's going to, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. It's whatever you want to do to do your business. I just look at it as a return like I talked about before. But that's the poll. A lot of information we've gotten this year so far in the channel from these polls. People are still responding to some older polls. It's just amazing. I went back and looked through them to make sure I try not to duplicate them on videos. But I like talking about them because it reinforces to me what I'm doing. Do I need to change and stuff? But just I was reading through some of them. I was just amazed that, wow, they really do that, or they don't do that, or that's how they do that. So, but I got them coming out for the rest of the year. Look in the community tab, and they come out on Saturday mornings. They're pre-scheduled. Hope I haven't duplicated any. I've been pretty diligent about that. But that's the poll. Kind of a quicker video today, which is kind of nice. But here's some viewer comments. I got 4 of them. Some of them were kind of different. I didn't really know what spurred some of them. But the first one is, how will the new 1099 tax law affect your selling? To me, it won't do nothing to me. I've been paying taxes since day one. Me and my CPA sit down and I say, this is how much sales I'm going to do this year. This is how much profit I'm going to make. Let's divide it by 4, and that's what I pay the government every 3 months. Yeah, I paid quarterly taxes because I don't want that big bill at the end of the month. I just get out there. At the end of the month, I put money away to pay my taxes, pay my bigger bills every year, and stuff like that. So when it comes tax time, that money is already spent. That's part of the self-employment tax in the States here. Hey, got a sale. McWilliam Bridge, Grafton, Vermont postcard. So sales are still coming in. But taxes, you just take what you think your profit is going to be as divided by 4. I pay it every 3 months. 15, 20 self-employment tax, whatever it is in your state or wherever. And I pay it. So I don't think it's going to affect me. It's going to be very interesting to see at the first of the year when people start getting these 1099s in that they never thought or didn't pay attention. I think it's going to cut the grass a little bit in the selling world. A lot of people used to do the 20,000, they'd stop selling about 19,000. So about August, September, they'd quit selling. And now $600. Heck, the first 2 days of the year I was in there. So yeah, it's not going to affect me that much. But get with a tax person. Make sure you got your numbers. Don't pay more than you have to, but keep yourself out of trouble. Are you a full-time reseller or part-time? I'm retired from a long, long career. I retired early. I was able to, which I'm very grateful for. This is more of it's a hobby selling. I use the money to do extra things in my retirement, pay for equipment, do things, keep me busy. I've always been active, doing things. So I'd say I'm in between part-time and full-time. I don't need this, but I do this. YouTube and selling postcards because I like to. So I say I'm in between part-time and full-time. If it was earlier and I had to go if I was full-time, would I go full-time sell postcards? No. I'm a 9-to-5 job. I like more the steady, and I'm not that big of a risk taker when it comes to that type of stuff with the benefits and stuff. I would never do this full-time myself. There's a lot of successful full-timers out there, not knocking them at all. I give them all the credit in the world for taking that leap and they got a good system going, and they make it. Some people I know in the last 2 years went full-time, they're back working, and they're only reselling part-time. The main reasons of that was financial stability. It was too up and down for them. They had mortgages and car payments, and then another big thing was health insurance. Another big thing is it wasn't for them. They could never step away from it. They were always on. They get that next sale because they knew that's how they eat. So it's a tough racket. People think reselling's easy. It's not. The biggest part is getting inventory, and good inventory, not just $5 things. You got to get some good stuff, and then you got to be the boss. You got to be the manager. You got to be the shipper. You got all these different hats, and now they have to do all of it. So be the PR person. Deal with the negatives. Deal with the messages, and with our phones, you're on all the time. It's a tough job. I would never do it full time. Part timers, they do it to supplement things, to have fun, to learn, for their collections. A lot of postcard people will get this postcard, and if it's got a tear in it, they'll put that in their slot. Then they'll go on the hunt to find a better one, and a better one, and better, always bettering up their collection. And then they'll sell this card. And how they sell it? They sell it on eBay. So you get a lot of hobbyists like that. But no, I say I'm in. Some days I don't do just pack postcards. That's it. Like today, I'm just doing videos. I'm not listing. I just packed up my postcards. I show you. I'll get them to the post office, and I'm done for the day. We might go to an auction later tonight. They got some different things. My wife likes to go, and she buys to keep. I buy to sell. So, but if you're full time or part time, let me know how you're doing on the full time and part time, or if you're ever going to go full time. What would it take you to go full time? What would be your biggest concerns about going full-time reselling? That I always interested in people's taking that risk. Next question is, I see you have new postcards listed almost daily in your eBay store. How many cards do you list a day, and why list every day with the number of listings you have already? I don't really list every day. I probably, out of 7 days a week, I do it 6, average 5 or 6. Like today, I'm doing videos and some other things around the house and stuff like that. I try to list an average every month of 50 postcards a day. So if I do 100 a day and do none tomorrow, I'm still at the average of 50. So I'm between 30 and 50 a day. It just depends what I'm doing and what my interests are. Family, grandkids, or just don't feel like doing it. That's okay as well. So 30 to 50 a day, it keeps what I'm selling, keeps me ahead of the game, keeps it growing. Get some new stuff in the store, keeps the store active, and stuff like that. A lot of business-related stuff today. Do you have insurance for all your postcards? Absolutely. Now, I'm never going to get paid for what these would be sellable. There's over $500,000 in listed sales here of all the postcards I have with the quantity. I didn't pay $500,000 for these postcards. I only get what I told my insurance company that I paid for them, and I have records of that. So it'll be, if something happens to our house and it burned down, just saying, I would lose all the computers, I'd lose all my postcards, all my shelves, all my equipment, all the stuff would be gone. I would have to start over again. I need some help to start over. So I sat down with the insurance line. We just did it about a month ago. And we sat down and I said, this is what this is worth, this is this, this is this. And we said, okay, this is the number that we're going to insure it for, and it will help me start over. I would start at 0 again. But that's part of it. But at least I wouldn't have no money to do it again as we rebuild everything else. I don't think postcards would be on top of the priority list. But it is a business insurance policy. This would not be covered. The postcard business in my office here and all this equipment is not covered under my home insurance since it's a business. So it's a little rider on there. But there is some other neat cards out there that I found by doing videos and just searching and looking around. I found those music audible postcards that you can actually play a postcard, and they were used in the Russian occupied Czechoslovakia. They didn't allow Western music and stuff, and people would mail a postcard, and on the postcard was the Western music, and they would play them. Now, they didn't last that long, but I go over those in detail in this one video here, and it was pretty interesting. I got a lot of good comments on it. But their music postcards they actually play. It's like the records you used to get on cereal boxes. You cut out and put them on the 45. So I go in depth on some of those things. And there's also record albums that have postcards inside of them too that collectors look for. So check that video out. That's all I got for you today. Good luck out there, and I'll catch you on the next one. Thanks.